we live in a very shitty religious state, and there's a lot of people out there that sadly like to judge us for, who we want to be, who we are.
Utah is such a heavily religious space, such a heavily conservative space. You're kind of used to gawking everywhere you go just by being yourself.
When you surround yourself with these people, it really gives you a perspective that's not what you'd be hearing all of the time, at home, in school, on TV.
Just being able to push the norms and being able to do it proudly and loudly is so important.
Because with all the hate that's already going around in the world, like, all we need is love. And I feel like when we're steering away from what we need and what we want,
especially with how the world is right now, like, everyone needs this form of community so that we can be together and stand up for things that we need to happen.
I was always the weird kid. As a child, you can't really comprehend the fact that people don't like you just because you don't live the same lifestyle they do.
So going somewhere where you're allowed to really be big and be yourself, and I'm allowed to go between dancing like a lunatic and moving it like I'm yeah, it's just a fucking amazing experience.
Our band name is PS Destroy This. My name is Tegan and I play guitar and vocals.
My name is Sammy and I play the drums.
My name is Katana. I play A lot of people see us as a girl band, but I feel like, we're more than that. We're a heavy band that explores themes of feminine rage and themes of what girlhood is.
I feel like a lot of our inspiration comes from shared experiences as either queer or femme people. And with those shared experiences, we kind of piggyback off each other to say well, when I was going through X, Y, or Z, this was really a pivotal point. And then someone would be like, yeah, I felt that same way, or I felt an opposite way. And trying to bring all of those attitudes together.
Yeah, I think a lot of our music is sort of a way for all three of us to emotionally process various things that make us really angry. The kind of music that we play and the energy that we bring to it is a way to put it into words, but also physically express that emotion and that anger.
My name is Jackson. I play in Baghead and I play drums.
My name's Cole. I play guitar and I'm in Baghead.
My name is Croc, aka Camden, and I bass and vocals.
If you're going to a show with acoustic guitars, people are just sitting down, still enjoying the music but not moving around. Punk and hardcore, their shows usually brings a lot of energy and people moving around.
Attending shows, it's really been a good escape for me. I mean, I find it a great way to let out anger, I guess. If you have a lot of inner rage, you can take it out at local shows. I mean, just enjoying yourself in the pit, listening to the loud, fast music.
And it's therapeutic, kind of. I mean, you go there and it's very loud noises. You can't really think about anything else when you're there. You're more just focused on what's going on around you. I think everyone should go to a hardcore show at least once in their life just to kind of experience it and see if you like pushing people around and feeling that emotion.
band Valhalla, and I do lead vocals and guitar.
My name is Adam. I'm the bassist, and sometimes I do backing vocals.
Is nobody gonna address the car crash? Or?
My name is Dominic Kalman. I'm in Valhalla, and I play the drums. For me, it's something I've always wanted to do. We were all in middle school when we started Valhalla. One of the biggest issues that we had as a band was trying to get to play at our first venue, because when you're a small band and even like under 16 years old, nobody kind of takes you seriously, so it took us months to get any reply from anybody. And now we're at a point where people are coming to us asking if they could play shows with us. So it's been a lot of fun.
It's surreal having people come to see you play the show last Halloween, us and Misdemeanor. It was awesome just having that depth of a space packed. It feels weird that people just come to see us.
I feel like I don't ever have a lot of friends, and I can always make friends at shows. Some of my closest friends are people from Misdemeanor, of which I would have never met if it wasn't for these shows that I played with them. It's always given a place for somebody to befriend anybody. You know, we're all still kids, we're all pretty broke, so we do the best we can, we save up our money, and we make it work.
My name is Dazzle, and I host an all-ages goth night in Salt Lake City called Love Like Blood, and an all-ages goth night in Provo, Utah called Dark Entrance.
I'm Domino. I sometimes help out Dazzle with DJing.
Goth is really rooted in the macabre. There's a lot of songs about dying, love, and politics. I've seen people describe it as like seeing the beauty in life through death.
Punk is like kind of more angry. I mean, not that goths are angry, but it's just more like silent rage.
Dancing is really good for you, so goth clubs can, relieve stress, like an escape from day-to-day life, while also securing a community.
You can't really talk about life and all that without including death and despair. Like, you can't be happy without being sad sometimes. You wouldn't know what happiness is. I think we should talk about it. I think a lot of people would be a lot less scared of dying and horrible things happening if we didn't just shush them all.
My name is Angie, and I'm in Sabotage, and my role is the lead vocalist.
My name is Conrad. I'm in the band Sabotage, and I play guitar.
My name is Zayden. I play bass.
I'm Carson. I play guitar.
My name is Grady. I'm in a band called Sabotage, and I play drums for him.
Getting into metal music, honestly, it was very freeing and liberating. It's a very excellent kind of channeling of negative emotions. And I think a lot of the times we don't really get to show negative emotions usually.
The imagery that we use for our music is kind of just evil looking stuff like goats and pentagrams, upside down crosses, stuff that would make your average churchgoer whittle in their pants just a little bit.
I think a lot of people find comfort in the fake evilness found in metal because they know it's just for fun, and they know that people a lot of the time that are in that aren't actually like that. But I think when it comes to religion and more of the Mormon areas, people feel like they're forced to be nice, which can lead to a lot of miscommunications and making people feel like they're shoved into this box that they shouldn't be, which tends to make people angry and upset.
I think it's very refreshing to be able to talk about some of the taboos. For someone who's so frustrated, I think it's way more productive for them to sing about something violent or sing about how negative they feel, instead of having to bottle up those emotions.
You have people who understand you already, and it's not like you have to prove yourself to them because of this music you listen to. You guys already kind of have this understanding that you guys listen to this taboo music, have taboo interests.
In order to understand this form of art,
you definitely need to culture yourself to it. And so if you find somebody that has gone through it for whatever reason, I'm sure you're gonna find things in common.
That was fucking fire, bro.
I was fucking fire, dude.
Even just like living your home life, I feel like there is a lot of like wiring in your brain growing up in Utah under the church.
So it is important for other viewpoints to be expressed, to have spaces where other people can actually like express themselves eloquently and in the manner that they actively want to.
I think a lot of people that are in the alternative community, a lot of them are a part of the LGBTQ community, and while we have an administration that is very against the very existence of us, it's so important to know that we are accepted somewhere.
It's so hard being like alternative in any way, shape, or form in Utah. You get a lot of hate, you get a lot of stares. And so to have a community of people that are just like you, who just like love you for who you are, is such a comforting feeling.
Being able to go to all these different venues and see all these different kinds of people who just love expressing themselves as who they are, it's beautiful, it's perfect. It's like, there's nothing more I could ask for.
Isn't really focused on the physical hits in your moshing. You're more just focused on the emotion that you're giving out when you're moshing, just the whatever's holding you back, stress, anger.
The physical expression of the emotion is so essential to the rest and digest and calming yourself down, because our survival mode is made so that we could fight a bear if we had to, but we don't have bears to fight anymore.
I remember being on the edge of the pit and headbanging, and I kind of wasn't looking. I remember being like, man, this is so sick. And then like I closed my eyes for a second, and I just got fucking kicked in the head. I had to go sit down on the gross ass couch they had in the front of their space. I do remember a few people coming up to me being like, yo, dude, are you okay? And then you start talking from there, and it's a very easy way to make friends. I still remember the people who came up to me afterwards and were like, dude, I said I got kicked in the face, are you good? Going to these places, I think, you just have so many people that it's hard to not form a community there, and it's hard to not get attached to these spaces.
Go! Yeah, go buy some merch from Baghead! Yo, excuse me, y'all! Somebody here! You lost an earring while moshing!
I feel like community at local shows, a lot of time, it could be as small as someone falling in a pit and the first person picking them up without even thinking about it. And then it could be as much as like a bunch of people coming together, chipping in $10 each to help someone get funding to become an American citizen.
There's a different mindset between people who go to local shows and people who go to mainstream shows. People who go to local shows, I've noticed, tend to be a little bit more down to earth, and they're a little bit more honest with themselves. Maybe they're not as privileged. They can't afford to go to a $40 show, so they'll go to a $10 show. These people oftentimes are in places where they may need a little bit of extra help. Maybe they need people to be there for them. Maybe that's financially, stuff like that. It's very common to be homeless at one point. You know, I've been homeless before, and everyone kind of understands that and everyone gets that, and so you kind of look out for each other. So there's a great sense of community. Just by association, you know that someone most likely would be willing to take care of you.
There's been like a lot of people who have told me that like they met their partner at one of our shows, that they met their best friend, that they met a new roommate at one of our shows. And I think it's really cool when you come together to like experience local music. You start meeting like-minded people.
For local bands, it's a lot more intimate because everybody knows each other. It's like a big family.
It also is an escape, having this one space that you can go to where you know, like, okay, terrible shit's happening in the world, but I can go to Black Lung for tonight, and I'm gonna see 4 awesome bands for $8, and I'm not gonna have to give a shit for the next 4 hours.
I see a lot of talent in the local scene that you won't see with some big bands. Like, there's some big bands that are super simple and honestly aren't super talented. They just got lucky, I guess.
Yeah, I think the Salt Lake music scene, it's got a real fire to it, and I think a huge part of that has to do with the counterculture and pushback.
I would say that the alternative scenes here, they flourish because people can find what they want through them.
90% of teenagers in Utah can agree with is that they were probably raised Mormon, and that either they wanted to stick with that or get away from that. And definitely a direction that I feel like most teenagers have taken is that music route of wanting to be more emo or alternative, or listen to like music that screams more, just it's heavier, people play faster.
In a location like this where Mormonism and Christianity are very like built and melted into the minds of everyone around here that lives here, and to the architecture, like you walk around, you can't go 3 blocks without seeing a church. A lot of people, if they aren't a part of that, then I feel like it can be heavy on them. They're tired of seeing stuff that they don't agree with plastered all over it.
Well, people who feel very like in a box, they want to branch out. They want to do things that they love. Because like with religion, organized religion it feels like you have to be a certain way, and you have to be like, it's all black and white. But I feel like with alternative, it's full of color.
I guess for me, I left the church pretty early. I was probably around 15 years old. And at the time, you know, I was asking questions that they didn't have the answer for. And I had also been kind of slut-shamed for things that are actually like developmentally normal and okay, you know? So I was kind of coming to terms with the cognitive dissonance of what I had been taught, which was to love people. You know, not understanding my own queerness at the time, but having close family members who were gay and being like, this is someone who I love, this isn't someone who's a bad person, and yet my church is telling me that I need to be rude or ignore them or not associate with this person.
I'm not gonna remember names whatsoever, but I remember in one of the books of a Bible, there's a father and there's a son, and God is basically like, I'm gonna need you to kill your son to prove your loyalty to me. Yeah, I remember being 8 years old and being like, that doesn't make any sense. That's really cruel. And I remember saying that to like the teacher who was there, and they were like, oh, well, God was just testing me. And I was like, yeah, but his parent was like fully prepared to kill him until God said, hey, don't kill him. They couldn't understand how I was confused about that. And I remember I just like kept pushing and being like, I don't think this makes any sense. And so it led to a lot of the people who were like teaching at my church just being like, stop asking questions.
A few years ago, I ended up getting a master's degree in social work, and I was doing an internship down in Provo, and I ran into one of my old young women leaders, and I was like, oh, I just graduated with my master's degree in social work, so I can do all of this good to help people with their mental health. And they did not care one bit. They did not care at all. They were like, are you married? Do you have kids? And at that moment, I think it clicked for me that these people, their value system and their morality is so different than mine.
If I'm 8 and I can deconstruct a religion by asking a simple question about being confused, that's very infuriating.
It's almost been 10 years of Trump. Like 2016 is when Trump got elected for his first term. And I feel like we've experienced so much brutal fallout from that. And so I think the counterculture and pushback that comes from this feeling of like feeling powerless and needing to do something and needing to say something. I think that's what's driving kids to pick up a guitar for the first time and to wail on the drums. And it's not perfect, but it needs to be done.
A lot of goth music is political, anti-racism, anti-establishment, anti-Nazi, so it's super progressive.
Well, music is political, whether you like it or not, especially like subgenres that were formed because of political things. You can't really be conservative and goth at the same time. Like, those aren't real.
Like, a lot of it is like the drums, and if the drums are fast, people will like move around to it and want to move around, and if people agree with you and like the message that you're trying to send out, they like want to get that anger out with you.
A lot of punk songs are definitely about things that people don't like anymore, things that people don't understand. And so I think it's a good way, especially when you're writing it, to express something that you don't understand or something that you don't really have a passion for and you can't really grasp the importance of it.
The truth is that the world kind of fucking sucks and there's a lot of bad stuff happening. And so to me, when I see music that reflects bad things happening, or I see music that does talk about more difficult subject matter, I think, okay, well, I'm glad that this person is telling me the truth, or this feels more real, and it doesn't feel like they're trying to just sell me something or get me to enjoy something.
I think that the point of music is to share something and feel something with like a larger group. That's what music means to me. When I was a little girl and I heard Joan Jett's I Love Rock and Roll for the first time, it just felt so raw and naughty. Like, yeah, she is a girl and she is like busting down doors and she's got a leather jacket on and she loves rock and roll and I love rock and roll. You know, being able to see a powerful woman in an alternative space be so unapologetic, I think that really changed my perspective on what I was capable of.
Playing on stage is the most euphoric feeling in the world. You feel like you're high. You feel like you're on top of the world, like no one can stop you.
Yeah, writing lyrics is easy when you're passionate about it, and it also is like therapeutic to like get those thoughts out and get them to other people.
People who experience horrible things, they can make art into it so that if somebody else experienced that horrible thing, they have someone to relate to.
I think playing something that is negative is a very amazing conduit to feeling better about something. And I think there's just like so much expression and so much energy and emotion is getting out on stage that it allows you to really clear your head.
I think on the lines of emotional processing and what is expected of women and femme people is to be quiet and to be small and to not take up space. Or if you're writing music, it needs to be singer-songwriter and it needs to be pretty. The energy and the aggression that we have is kind of going against that norm so that we're taking up a lot of space and we're being loud.
The way I see our songs opening a conversation is almost inviting a younger version of myself to the show to hear what I have to say now as an adult, and seeing people that were my age then at shows and hearing what they have to say back. In specifics, our song J Stands for Jackass, we've had enough people come up to me like, hey, I also dated an asshole in a band. And it's just opening the conversation of like, every person has similar experiences, but we can't talk about them unless someone starts the conversation.
Being able to give back to other people what learning music gave to me in the first place has been an extremely fulfilling experience.
There would be less druggies on the street and more musicians if they just picked up a guitar, you know? I feel like it's very important to have these local spaces because it's the only real positive thing that we have left. There's so much like going on in the world with our current administration, with just everything in the world sucking.
The former president's comeback will be complete with a win in Wisconsin, a state record drought made more severe by climate change. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
It just gives us that one little bubble of happiness that we get to enjoy the things that we like to enjoy and kind of forget about all of our worries.
I think that these scenes give you hope. When you're surrounded by a group of people who think the way that you do, that are driven to create change, that want to see change, that continue to go against what is currently being pushed on them, you can have hope. And hope is the most important thing that we can have right now.
People are giving us like Plan B to hand out or extra condoms to hand out because they know like what kind of people come to our shows and like how life-saving that can be.
That's my favorite thing about these alternative shows and the scene is that it creates an environment where you can build up benefit shows and build up these communities by creating safe spaces. Like with the benefit shows, it's great because then you can always come to someone with an issue and be like, I can't afford this care. I can't afford to like pay my rent for the next month because of these unfortunate circumstances. And it really does wonderful things for people.
The goth subculture is so political, and once you've entered it, you find like-minded people who share the same ideologies, the same politics, and that gives you power in your local community.
If you have so much news, if you have so much information, a lot of the times you can get bogged down and get really depressed just because it feels like everything sucks. So I think that the local music scenes, they can be really positive because it reminds you that there is good in the world and there are other people that are wanting to fight for positive change.
A single person cannot change the world, but you have power in numbers. So goth clubs, the goth community, just goth spaces, since they are so political and progressive, you find like-minded people and you can make a change locally.
Performing is scary, making new friends is scary, showing up to a protest is scary, but if the desire is there, then overcome that fear and do it anyways.
The only way that you'll never achieve it is if you never even bother to try.
I think a big message to try to portray is just have fun, make music. Anybody can start a band.
You're not working on the masterpiece, you're working on the master. What you're doing right now is probably not like your pivotal swan song, but what you're doing right now is getting you towards that.
Just go for it and just get started. 4 chords and some friends, that's all it takes. Go and do it. Go seek these things out. Be whoever you want to be. Do what feels right.
It's just sticking with it and being committed. And there's going to be times where it feels like nothing's happening. People struggle to find fans. And you just need to find those people, talk to people, and just stick with it, and good things will happen.
Probably. If you ask somebody what their favorite part of life is, they'll never say work, they'll never say school, they'll always either say friends or family. And that's because community is what drives people, and that's what is important for people.
Form a band, go to a show, get patches, get tattoos, fully embrace it for what it is, because when it all lines up, it's just so beautiful seeing all of the different people with all different kinds of issues get along in one space and just bang our heads together. It's just the most fun thing in the world.